Grammar Screencast CLC Stage 26. We're going to abbreviate and we're going to move quickly. We're adding two new participles in this chapter. One is traditionally called the future participle active, or the ura, and the other one is called the future participle passive, or the jerry, or the unda. It's really kind of hard to describe that it would be called the future participle since it's not really formed off the perfect future stem. Basically formed off the perfect participle stem, mis. You have the endings, and then you have this infixed ur. Long you are. Ur. Misura, 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 misurai, 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 misuras, misuris, misuris, misurara. So what does that perspective show? That perspective will show a perspective aspect. Gonna, or finna, or fixin' to. So it can be created as a typical periphrastic where you add it with sum to create nice finite tenses. So if you added it with eram, it would be I was gonna or I was finna send. If you want us to do it with sum, it was I am gonna send or I finna send. And then finally the future, I will be going to send or I will finna send. The perspective is not quite a concept of tense, more of will. So notice we have eram for singular, res scripturus, just like a typical periphrastic, except now you have pp, prospective. Not PF, perfective, not PG, progressive, but PP, prospective. That's where you get the gonna. Where do you get the was? From the sum verb, so the two function together. I was going to write back a letter. So these perspectives are especially found in the indirect statement clause. Yes, because sometimes they call it an infinitive if you add it with essay. But you know what? Oftentimes you don't see that. So, therefore, we have Diana trusted that the legates intend to run indirect statement clause. Intend are going to uras. Now, he was hoping that she was intending to sell, intending or going to ura. There's the perspective. And finally, fugiturum, going to, was intending to flee. Now, am going to flee is interesting. That's a sexy distractor, but your verb is past. Let's talk about the future participle passive, also called the unda. And the unda is also called the gerund or the gerundive. It's a complicated family line. But as you can see, present stem, enda, and then end with the infix a, us, So, ladanda, wedenda, metenda, capienda. And guess what? It could still create a periphrastic, but it's a little different. This is where you have the debitive. It was needing, or it is needing, or it will needing to be passive sent. So therefore, metendus eram, I was needing to be sent. It's the debitive indicates obligation. I am needing to be sent. I will be needing to be sent. Same construction you saw before. So this is the passive from the unda participle, and the debitive from the unda participle. Was needing, where do you get the was? From the sum verb. Was needing to be written. And it is passive. The subject is acted upon by the verb, but the agent phrase is dative. The agent phrase is dative. The agent phrase is dative. So whenever you see the unda, the dative will be an agent phrase. Where normal verbs we'd expect ab plus the ablative. A couple of things we've covered already. In plus the ablative. You don't use in with time expressions. He stays on the same day. So discesserent, they departed. Who they departed? They themselves departed. When tertia hora, you don't use in expressions with ablative to indicate time. Place phrase. In the third hour. Well, there's even more than just the ablative. We can also play with the extent. when dealing with the accusative, dealing with number expressions for many years, you will use a straight out accusative to indicate how long it lasted. I was expecting what? The letter multos anos. How long? Accusative plus number, extent phrase for many years. I just like seeing that teddy bear just beat the snot out of that guy's face. All right, last thing. Complement clause subjunctive. We've seen subjunctives in indirect questions. We've seen subjunctives in relative adverb clauses. Now we're going to show you that because the subjunctive is similar to the infinitive, it can be used the same way in an ut plus subjunctive form. And it is more of a simply concept of a complement clause of infinitive. So you'll either see it as present subjunctive, which we haven't seen yet, or in all these cases, imperfect subjunctive. So he ordered, and we have the complement clause here. To could appear with ut, may not. To send a letter. So in other words, or that he sent a letter. Notice that it's like the infinitive for the complement clause, but unlike the infinitive, it has person number. And notice, of course, here that it doesn't have any past tense. It doesn't have any mood, that he sent a letter. So, all right, there's everything we need to cover in this chapter, and we'll see you tomorrow.